Hello, I am Chamathka Ariyarathna. I am going to conduct a small session about JavaScript. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a dynamic computer programming language. Dynamic computer programming language means operations done in runtime also can be performed in compile time. And also it is a text-based programming language which is used both on the client side and server side. JavaScript allows user to make web pages interactive. HTML and CSS languages gives the structure and style to the web pages, while JavaScript giving interactive elements to the web pages. JavaScript is a lightweight, dynamic, lightweight programming language. Let's move to history of JavaScript. JavaScript was created by Brendan H. in 1995. JavaScript was named initially as Mocha, but then it was named as LiveScript and later it named as JavaScript. Today, JavaScript is owned by Oracle Corporation. There are many uses of JavaScript. From that, let's discuss some advantages. JavaScript improves the user experience of the web page by converting it from static page into an interactive one. Simply we can say that JavaScript adds behavior and interaction to the web pages. By using JavaScript, we can create an attractive web pages. By using JavaScript, we can create web apps and mobile apps, and also we can use JavaScript in game development. When creating flying robots, when creating different arts in computer, in building web servers and developing server application, we can use JavaScript. There are three types of JavaScript. They are inline JavaScript, internal JavaScript, and external JavaScript. Let's understand what is inline JavaScript. When a script tag is used in HTML file, it is called inlining. It means there is no external JavaScript file is used. Instead of that, JavaScript is put into an HTML file. Let's move to this example. The special tag used in inline script. In this example, we can see that within the script tags in the body of the HTML page, the JavaScript code is included. They are document.getHTML by ID within brackets and inverted commas demo.inner HTML equal displays hello JavaScript. In the output, we can see that hello JavaScript sentence that is coded within the script tags in the HTML code. Let's move to internal JavaScript. In internal JavaScript, JavaScript code is placed in the head and body sections of the HTML page. Here we can see that in the body of the HTML code, we can see button is created named as SLIIT. There a function is calling when on click function is happening. It means when clicking try it button, the my function is calling. My function is calling within the head part of the HTML. There we use script tags, and within the script tag, my function is calling there. There we can see that function, my function is calling their document.getElementById within brackets and inverted comma demo.inHTML. Paragraph changed output is displaying. The output of this JavaScript code is paragraph changed. To get that output, we have to click this try it button. Then only we can take the paragraph changed output, the sentence of paragraph changed. Then we can see that there is a there is a small interaction created by JavaScript in web pages. Then let's move to understand advantages of external JavaScript. External JavaScript use helps in reusability of code in more than in one HTML file. It is time efficient because web browsers catch external JS files, which further reduces the page loading time. JavaScript enables both web designers and coders to work with HTML and JavaScript files parallelly and separately. Therefore, there will be no any conflicts on HTML and JavaScript files. It allows easy code readability. When JavaScript and HTML codes are in a same file, then it will be a conflict to read. Therefore, when HTML files and JavaScript files used separately, then the readability improves. Then also the length of the code reduces because we have only to specify the location of JavaScript file within the HTML file. Otherwise, instead of coding JavaScript in the same HTML file. There are disadvantages of external JavaScript. Stealers can download the coders codes using the URL of JavaScript files. If there are only few lines of JavaScript code, then it will be better to implement the internal JavaScript code. When we implement few lines of code in external JavaScript, it may be have to spend more time and effort. A tiny change in JavaScript code, external JavaScript code, may cause unexpected results in the whole files. If there are two JavaScript files dependent on one another, then failure in one file may affect the other file also. In external JavaScript, JavaScript code must be saved by a JS extension, and it is a separate file from HTML. It is recommended to embed all JavaScript files into a single file. External JavaScript is reusable because single JavaScript file can be used in several HTML pages. Let's move to this example. Here you can see that index.html file is in a separate location, while external JavaScript file is in another location. In index.html, the static content is created. The external JavaScript file is called in the head part of the index.html. And there we can see that within the script tags, the type is assigned as text JavaScript, and the source is external JavaScript. This external JavaScript is this file. There document.write within brackets and inverted commas. This is external JavaScript example sentences displaying. After calling this index after running this index html.html, we can see the output as this is external JavaScript example, which is written in the external JavaScript. So let's discuss about popular websites and apps which are coded with JavaScript. Main websites are Google and YouTube, Facebook, Wikipedia, Yahoo, Amazon, eBay, Twitter, QQ, LinkedIn. In Google, in both front-end and back-end, JavaScript is used, and in YouTube, which is created in 2025, the most popular video sharing platform is also using JavaScript. I think you could get a brief understanding about JavaScript, and thank you for listening.